Last Saturday's action at the Midwest Center for Speed was cut short by a steady drizzle. But we do have some excellent heat race highlights to show you, and you'll never guess who timed in the fastest in the late models. If you said Jeff Martin, you're wrong. Find out the right answer next on the Valvoline Elko Race Report.
Sometimes the best racing of the night comes early in the evening when drivers in all four classes are competing in heat races. The races are shorter, consequently the cars stay closer together, and passing becomes more of a challenge as drivers look for the holes. Hello again, race fans. Wally Schaefer and Ted Ostad with you tonight. And we talked a little bit about the heat race action because that's what we have in store for you tonight. Unfortunately, that's all we got in last Saturday in the program, so we've got a few extra things up our sleeve for tonight.
Yeah, it is unfortunate that all we did get in was the heat races because, Wally, the heat races really were very entertaining races to watch, and I was really looking forward to a good night of features, but the whole night was a wash, and but we do have some good action to show the fans.
We'll also bring you up to speed on the latest in the point standing, something we haven't really touched on yet so far this season. Don't go away, we'll come back with the late models next. Today's show is brought to you by Valvoline, the #1 choice of mechanics across the Midwest. By Budweiser, race fans, this Bud's for you. By Tires Plus, low warehouse prices, fast world-class service. And Gens Ryan Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning. For all your Lennox needs, call Gens Ryan in Rosemount.
With all the motor oils on the shelf, how do you know which one to choose? Some people even think they're all the same. Then why do you suppose one brand of motor oil is the #1 choice of America's top mechanics for use in their own cars and trucks? Which brand? Valvoline. People who know use Valvoline. And for extra engine protection, try Valvoline DuraBlend Synthetic Blend Motor Oil.
Kenny Bernstein is Budweiser King Top Fuel Dragster. Who says you need wings to fly?
Shake, rattle, and roll this Saturday night. It's high-speed, action-packed NASCAR auto racing excitement. The Thunder rolls every Saturday night at the Midwest Center for Speed, Elko Speedway. 4 exciting divisions: NASCAR late models, sportsmen, Thunder cars, and bombers. Elko Speedway is located just 10 minutes south of Burnsville on Interstate 35. Feel the thunder this Saturday night at Elko Speedway. For ticket information, call the Speedway at 461-RACE.
Time trials in the Mack Tools late model division are always the first thing up on the agenda every Saturday night at Elko Speedway. This year, points are not awarded for the time trial performance as they were last year, but timing fast can help for a better starting position in the feature race. For the third consecutive week, Elko's fastest were ripping off times under 15 seconds. Steve Murgic was one of the earlier cars to roll out onto the circuit, and he blistered the asphalt with a lap of 14.925 seconds. Mike Duma and Jeff Martin were close, but unable to top Murgic's pace. The top 6 cars from the time trials moved to the Fast Gas event for an 8-lap shootout with the fastest car on the pole. Steve Murgic in the white #3 Pontiac Firebird was flanked by the black 82 Chev of Mike Duma. Paul Payne on the outside of row 2 couldn't find the bite and dropped off the pace. Jeff Martin moved up and raced door-to-door with Tuma, but neither could find a way around Speedy Gonzalez, Steve Murgic. The remainder of the field separated into 2 heat races. In the opener, Mel Wallen enjoyed the pole in his red and white Dodge Avenger. Brad Miller in the blue Dodge couldn't find the bite in the outer groove either, and he faded back, allowing the white number 11 Hooters car of Jason Schnieder to sneak up on the inside. Schnieder, back after a week off due to a crash opening night, challenged Wallen on the outside, but found himself ducking back in behind Mel's lead. Wallen went on to record the win. Dick Moeller finished 4th in the orange 29 car after winning heat races the previous 2 weeks. Randy Wabel in the black number 13 Lumina. Hey, wait a minute. What happened to that cool-looking dark green color? Oh well. Randy dueled with Dan Ryan, eventually inching ahead of the silver Gens Ryan machine. Entering the picture was a Metro Molding 05 car of Rapid Ray Gensler. Keeping to the inside of Ryan, Gensler stole past and moved outside to put the heat on Wabel. Rapid Ray found his setup working in lane 2 and drew up on the outside of Wabel. In the closest race of the night, Gensler and Wabel drove wheel to wheel for several laps and rounded the final turns almost dead even. At the line, with both cars accelerating, Wabel won by a thumbnail over Gensler. Nice race.
Well, it's disappointing that none of those heat races will count in the point standings. Let's take a look at how the point standings stack up as we head into this Saturday night's racing. The first 2 weeks of the season have shown that Jeff Martin in the Richard Larson Home Builders Wallstead Egan Amoco Ford Thunderbird and Mike Tuma with his G&T Trucking Lumina have picked right up where they left off last season. That's battling for the top spot in the division. The defending NASCAR Great North Regional champion Mel Wallen finds himself in 3rd place after winning the main event on April 27th. The Midwest Data Services Dodge was a handful that night, but with Wallen's 25-plus years experience, he held off a hard-charging Jeff Martin for the feature win. Teammates Steve Murgic and Ray Gensler are currently 4th and 5th in points. The two put on a great show during the opening night feature as they raced side by side for the final 5 laps of the event. Steve just couldn't quite get the bite he needed on the outside. The cool temperatures and green track could have been to blame for this, but Gensler was hooked on the inside, and he should be tough all season. Here's a look at how the NASCAR late models stack up in the early season points chase. Very close all the way through the pack with Martin and Tuma leading the way. Dick Moeller has been very consistent as he leads all rookies with 82 points and currently finds himself in 6th overall. Newcomer Kevin Noodleman is tied with 2-time track champion Brian Johnson for 7th, while Les Ferris and another rookie, Dan Ryan, round out the top 10.
Some women don't like the idea of a bunch of guys hanging around their house all day. But in the case of Jean Murgic, when she first met late model driver Steve Murgic, she knew what she was getting into.
I told my family I married it, so I knew when I got into this what I was in for. Steve is a very driven individual, and he has high expectations of himself and those around him, and so I guess we all know what kind of time and involvement it takes, and I'm okay with that. Steve has raced for 22 years. His dad, who was known as Magic Mike Murgic, raced prior to that since Steve was a young boy. And now the brothers are involved. Pete and Chris are on the crew. Brother-in-law Mark, and our extended family, as I call the rest of our crew, is extended family, Joey Garofalo and Brian McMenemy. And basically they're at our house 6 to 7 days a week.
Several years ago when Jean first met Steve, a serious racing accident cost Steve a leg. It was at that time Jean discovered how close the racing family is.
Like I said, I was just a friend at the time, and I think everybody in his circle of friends really gave him a lot of credit for getting back out there. You know, whether you're in football and you break a leg, you don't quit playing football. So that was the same attitude he had about racing, and I think actually he was more driven to do a better job after that, and I think he's proven that most of the years. He's had some pretty good records out here.
The racing community rallied around a close friend of the Murgics 3 years ago when fellow racer Dwayne Barons was killed in a snowmobile accident.
I know that for Steve and I, we'll never go through anything as difficult as that again. It was kind of that first hardship in our life where things really hit home that we never thought about before. And we continue our friendship very closely with Mary and the children, and I feel like Dwayne is out here every Saturday night with us, and guess if that's the way we want to think about it, that's what makes us feel good.
And with all the years the Murgics have been involved in racing, Jean has some favorite moments she treasures.
The biggest highlight for Steve and I over the past couple of years was winning the first annual Dwayne Barron's Memorial race. That was very special in that he and Mary were very good friends, and I guess that's a highlight for us. And then 1992 was the Great Northern Region Championship. My kids think Dad should win every night, but that's not the way it works. I'm sure Jeff Martin's children think the same thing. So it's a competition level, and I think that Steve always puts on a pretty good show with the other drivers. He tries to hang outside and make it exciting for the fans, and I think that's something we all appreciate is good, clean driving. Well, obviously, I'm proud to be Steve Murgic's wife. I know he is one of the longer-term, more mature drivers out here, a lot of history with racing.
Science Plus!
Keeping our lives in alignment is a big challenge. Seems like we're always hitting those proverbial potholes. To get back into alignment, we need to prioritize and use our time wisely. Hi, I'm Tom Gigax. Speaking of alignment, when your car or truck hits a pothole, come to Tires Plus for a free alignment check. Just as you need to keep your life in alignment, keep your car or truck in alignment at Tires Plus.
No warehouse prices.
Tires Plus!
World-class service.
Tires Plus!
I keep my home in top running conditions. I only buy the best.
For your cooling needs, call Gens Ryan Plumbing and Heating, your independent Lennox dealer.
Imagine my surprise when I discovered air conditioners just 8 years old may not be as efficient as newer ones.
Gens Ryan Plumbing and Heating can install a new Lennox unit for you.
So I replaced my old one with a new one from Lennox.
They can help cut cooling bills up to 40%.
Well, my home runs like a finely oiled machine. I've got more of these somewhere.
Lennox, 5,000 independent dealers, 100 years of service. One less thing to worry about.
You want to know the secret to choosing a motor oil? You wait till the sun goes down. You take a ride to your local garage and then get a real close look at what the mechanic puts into his own car. Fact is, more top mechanics in America choose Valvoline over any other brand. Valvoline can help keep cars on the road for 100, 200, 300,000 miles and more. So before you buy a motor oil for your car, know the one more top mechanics put into theirs. People who know use Valvoline.
Shake, rattle, and roll this Saturday night. It's high-speed, action-packed NASCAR auto racing excitement. The Thunder rolls every Saturday night at the Midwest Center for Speed, Elko Speedway. 4 exciting divisions: NASCAR late models, sportsmen, Thunder cars, and bombers. Elko Speedway is located just 10 minutes south of Burnsville on Interstate 35. Feel the thunder this Saturday night at Elko Speedway. For ticket information, call the Speedway at 461-RACE.
Well, it's a special weekend for the racing moms out there. Some of the drivers, they might forget to get a card or a gift, so they'd like to wish some holiday greetings to their mums.
Hello, race fans. I'm Jason Schnieder, the driver of the number 11 Hooters Restaurant, late model. Happy Mother's Day.
Hi, I'm Sandy VanDyne, number 31 Thundercar, and I'd like to wish Happy Mother's Day to my mom.
Hi, I'm Todd Farell. I drive the number 18 Thundercar. I'd like to wish my mom a happy Mother's Day.
Hi, I'm Bob Fredrickson, and happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Hi, I'm Pat Kelly. I drive the number 14 Bomber. Just like to say happy Mother's Day, Mom.
I'd like to wish everybody, all the mothers, happy Mother's Day from the Brackets Racing Team. Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day!
Did you hear that? Ted said, Mum. I've been teaching him Canadian, and he's really coming along, eh? All right, let's go to the Gens Ryan Sportsman Division. And the leaders in each of the 2 heat races found it a tough spot to hold. Northfield's Donnie Bryant held fast for the first 5 laps in the opening race. Lap 6 was his undoing as 3 cars all zipped past. Number 80, Kent Eastlick, roared to the lead, followed quickly by Donnie Reavers in that blue number 41 car, and Steve Anderson in the red number 17. Eastlick led the rest of the way, but Leadfoot Anderson pounded it down on the final lap and beat Reavers across the line for second. Heat 2 saw Apple Valley's Kurt Hoffman leading the first half of the 10-lap race. By midway, he began leaking fluids, and it caused him to get a little bit loose in turn 4. Down at the other end of the speedway, Mike Skaya in number 11 and Steve Coy in 98 came together and plowed into the turn 1 wall due to the oil on the track. Nasty wreck. Skaya and Coy were out, and Hoffman black flag for the lead. New leader, the Silver Bullet, Bob Barfkinick in the Gens Ryan 39 Chev, started around the 3/8 mile oval for the final 2 laps to edge Rob Host and Lauren Sherrick. Good showing for Host, who had begun the race in last place.
Well, race fans, once again, we'll take a look at the Sportsman Division point standings as we head into Saturday night's action. Last year's Rookie of the Year runner-up Lauren Sherrick finds himself at the top of the point standings heading into this Saturday's racing. The Wild Thing has been right there in both of the features so far. It looks to be adjusting to the hairpin turns of oval track racing after being a successful drag racer for years. A driver that has impressed all of us this season is number 60 Tom Bovair. Bert, as most of the old-timers know him, has been flying so far in 1995 and is currently in second. Opening night feature winner Steve Croyer and his Fronic Trucking Chevrolet currently holds down 3rd place. Croyer also leads the Big A Hard Charger point standings as he has passed 9 cars during the feature event. The other feature winner, Darren Cleggstand, in the Quality Green number 13 machine, finds himself planted in the number 4 spot, while Wild Bill Rohde rounds out the top 5. The remainder of the top 10 looks like this. Defending champ Steve Anderson is still learning his new car and currently holds down 6th. Too Tall Rob Host and his DRS Home Repair Thunderbird is right behind him, while Jeff Partington, Bullet Bob Barfnick, and Donnie Reavers round off the list.
Put 700 of the world's most powerful horses together, and what do you get? You get out of the way. The Budweiser Ken Schrader stock car. See you at the races.
With all the motor oils on the shelf, how do you know which one to choose? Some people even think they're all the same. Then why do you suppose one brand of motor oil is the #1 choice of America's top mechanics for use in their own cars and trucks? Which brand? Valvoline. People who know use Valvoline. And for extra engine protection, try Valvoline DuraBlend Synthetic Blend Motor Oil.
Shake, rattle, and roll this Saturday night. It's high-speed, action-packed NASCAR auto racing excitement. The Thunder rolls every Saturday night at the Midwest Center for Speed, Elko Speedway. 4 exciting divisions: NASCAR late models, sportsmen, Thunder cars, and bombers. Elko Speedway is located just 10 minutes south of Burnsville on Interstate 35. Feel the thunder this Saturday night at Elko Speedway. For ticket information, call the Speedway at 461-RACE.
As always, lots and lots of cars in the Tires Plus Thundercar division. 4 heat races last Saturday. Here we go. In the first heat, the fastest cars were in the back of the pack. Slowly but methodically, Conrad Jorgensen in the black number 3 car moved up from his number 6 starting spot and eventually found the front. Joe Prusak in the number 66 Bernatello's Pizza Ride finished second after starting the race in the trunk. Heat 2. Spring Lake Park resident Tom Kerberger lined up his black and white 0 car on the outside of the front row. Wasting little time, Kerberger powered to the point and led the way as Gary Fredrickson finished second. Heat 3 found Burnsville's Doug Stick Brown sitting on the pole. That was a spot he would never vacate during the 10-lap event as he cruised to his second heat race win of the season in his rookie campaign. Ed Charlton in 20 and Farable's Thad Sunsdall put on a good challenge but couldn't unseat Brown. Look at this action in the final Thundercar heat race. 3 wide early in the tilt. Dave Paulsrud Jr. in the middle is a salami in this sandwich. The 72 car of Jason Miles on the outside blasted to the lead with the yellow and red number 40 ride of Dave Cockatoo Parrott holding the inside. Miles stayed ahead of Parrott and won by a car length at the checkers.
Points. Opening night saw Ed Charlton in his Fino Oasis Market number 20 charge to the front and never look back. Charlton is running Kathy Amott's old car, and with that power plant below him and his newly found patient driving style, he has become a force to be reckoned with in the Thunders. Charlton has himself a comfy 14-point lead with only 2 weeks gone in the 96 season. Consistency has been a trademark of Lawrence Gensler since his career began. He is always among the top 10 when the checkered flag falls, and thus he is always in the thick of the points chase. Gensler is currently second. Last year it was a new nickname, Moo Moo. This year it's a new car. Jack Mays took advantage of a good starting spot during the opening night's racing card, and now he finds himself running in third for points. The driver who has really been passing cars in this division is Joe Pruzak with the number 66 Bernatello Pizza Ride. Pruzak has a lot of experience, has won a track championship, and he knows what it takes to win. He's in fourth. Kurt Mosier had a rough first night but picked up the pace a couple of weeks back. Mosier has always been a staunch competitor and will be the remainder of the season. Last year's runner-up in the division, Keith Johnson, finds himself locked in the number 6 position, while Marv Vinson and Kevin Keno are tied for 7th. Gord Mason and the April 27th feature winner Mike Hellendrung are 9th and 10th.
You want to know the secret to choosing a motor oil? You wait till the sun goes down. You take a ride to your local garage and then get a real close look at what the mechanic puts into his own car. Fact is, more top mechanics in America choose Valvoline over any other brand. Valvoline can help keep cars on the road for 100, 200, 300,000 miles and more. So before you buy a motor oil for your car, know the one more top mechanics put into theirs. People who know use Valvoline.
Here's our top 10 reasons to shop Tires Plus. Number 10, we do windows. 9, all the top brands. 8, don't like them? Exchange them. 7, work fast. 6, mouths to feed. 5, we recycle. 4, 90 days, no payment. 3, best price guarantee. 2, will a line break and shock you. And our number 1 reason to shop Tires Plus, we're Minnesota-based and Minnesota nice. Low warehouse prices, fast, world-class service.
Tires Plus.
Shake, rattle, and roll this Saturday night. It's high-speed, action-packed NASCAR auto racing excitement. The Thunder rolls every Saturday night at the Midwest Center for Speed, Elko Speedway. 4 exciting divisions: NASCAR late models, sportsmen, Thunder cars, and bombers. Elko Speedway is located just 10 minutes south of Burnsville on Interstate 35. Feel the thunder this Saturday night at Elko Speedway. For ticket information, call the Speedway at 461-RACE.
I keep my home in top running conditions. I only buy the best.
For your cooling needs, call Gens Ryan Plumbing and Heating, your independent Lennox dealer.
Imagine my surprise when I discovered air conditioners just 8 years old may not be as efficient as newer ones.
Gens Ryan Plumbing and Heating can install a new Lennox unit for you.
So I replaced my old one with a new one from Lennox.
They can help cut cooling bills up to 40%.
Well, my home runs like a finely oiled machine. I've got more of these somewhere.
Lennox, 5,000 independent dealers, 100 years of service. One less thing to worry about.
The Bob 100 Bombers unloaded with all their fury in 4 heat races last Saturday night. The top half in each heat advanced to the Bomber feature race, so the action is hot all through the lineup. Opening race was a runaway for the black number 12 car of Burnsville's Dan Skaya. In his first 2 outings of the season, Skaya had been relegated to the B feature and was determined to make the A this week. Despite a strong heat race, rain would ruin his bid for an A feature starting spot. Dan will have to wait till next week. In Heat 2, Glencoe's Josh Larson led...
Wait a minute, what town did you say?
Glencoe.
Oh, that's my hometown. Way to go, Josh.
Josh Larson went flag to flag to earn his first win of his rookie season. Late race challenges came from another rookie, Adam Wolf of Bloomington in 05, and from veteran driver John Schmitz in the white number 17 car. Schmitz had been flying through the field and was really cooking at the end. The third race was a walk for number 96, Mark Pollock. He built a huge lead right from the green flag and enjoyed a Saturday evening cruise. The rest of the field was close. Jay packed me another salmon in 66, and the B-52 bomber of Steve Marshall outdistanced the remainder of the group. And in the finale for the Bombers, Rob Koffenberg, a heat winner last week, made it 2 in a row as he led the entire race. Shoreview's Derry Peterson and Morristown's Mike Chatterton completed the top 3 positions.
Well, the points chase in the Bob 100 Bombers changes weekly. You never know if the driver's going to start in the A feature or if he's not going to make the cut and start in the B feature, which will cost him a lot of positions in the points. Let's take a look at how the first 2 weeks have transpired and who's among our top 10 in the Bob 100 Bomber points race. The Bombers have been running close and as clean as any division this season. The drivers have really tamed it a bit and they're not driving over their heads. Grant Wasgott in the John Paul's Auto sponsored number 60. He's the current point leader. Wasgott has been very consistent during the early weeks of the season and finds himself with a 2-point lead over Dave Frantic Fronick in lucky number 13. I'd also like to point out, Wally, that I picked Wasgott and you picked Fronick. I'm ahead.
We'll see.
Fronick has 1 feature win under his belt this season. His red, white, and blue Chevrolet looks to be set up perfect, and his experience in the division should be a valuable asset in his race against Wasgott for the point lead. Sitting back in third is Ken Pearson in car 37. Pearson has a couple of heat wins to his credit thus far and has been right there looking for an opening during the feature events. Watch for Pearson to make this race interesting. Last season's second-place driver was John Schmitz. He and eventual champion John Hellendrun swapped the lead a couple of times over the '95 season. Schmitz does not mind the role of chasing the leaders, and he seems to want the title a bit more this year than last. Tony the Tiger Holm and Wally Cavalli are currently tied for 5th. Darrell Blom, making his return to the division after a year off, is in 7th. Mike Schmitz is in 8th. Derry Peterson is 9th. And the good doctor, Leon Doherty, makes a house call in 10th. Now here's a look at the complete rundown of the top 10 point standings. Canada, C-A-N-A-D-A. Pretty good, eh?
Darn good, eh? Now we're all learning, eh?
That's enough of this Canada stuff. Hockey season is over, Wally.
Yes,
it's racing season. And racing is what we'll be doing Saturday night out at Elko Speedway. 6:30 for the time trials in the NASCAR late models. 7 o'clock, the green flag falls. But mums, you're going to want to be out there early. Mark Pollock in the Valley Speed Shop will be handing out yellow long-stemmed roses to the first 500 mothers through the gate wall.
I'm looking forward to that. I think the mums are going to really enjoy that little gift. Compliments of Valley Speed Shop. But also, Ted, we know we have some warm weather coming in. It may change the way things go on the track. Heated conditions on the track will certainly make a little bit difference as to which groove these guys go in. Whether it speeds things up or slows them down will have to be answered. But we've had some great times, fast times that is, in the time trials so far this year. And I'll be very curious to see if they hold up with the warmer weather coming in.
Yeah, the horsepower does decrease a little bit during time trials with the warmer temperatures, but you can count on side-by-side racing in all 4 divisions every Saturday night at Elko Speedway. 6:30 time trials, 7 o'clock racing. We'll see you at the races.